Okay, we are going to the next topic, which is potential at a conductor in a group of charged conductors. So I need to find out the potential of a single conductor which is being present. So here I have taken the cross-sectional area over a group of charged conductors. What it means here is, so I have two cross-sectional areas, that is, which is at a distance 0.1 and 0.2 which is being present, and d1 and d2 are the distances. As you can see, this is the path of integration, and the distances are said to be d1 and d2. So why I have taken it as d1 and d2 is, so d1 and d2 are the distances from this charged conductor, and I need to integrate from this path of integration, which is nothing but the movement of the charged conductors in this path of integration. So next, what is being present there is the potential difference between any 2 points is nothing but the work done in joules per coulomb. This is the unit there, joules per coulomb, required to move a coulomb of charge between the 2 points. Yes, the force on the conductor is nothing but in moving this positive charge or any charge being present there. So I need to move in such a way that it has the work to be done. So when work is to be done, you need to have a force which has been acting on the charge. So this force which has been acting on the charge will have to move towards the other way. So this force on a charge in the field is measured by electric field intensity, which is equal to the force in newtons per coulomb, and the charge at a point which is to be considered, and it is measured in volts per meter. So volts per meter, that is the electric flux density. Electric field intensity there. So electric field intensity. So let me go on with the derivation part. So in order to carry out the derivation part, I need to consider a long straight wire carrying a positive charge as it is shown in the figure. So this is a positive charge which has been there. So coulombs per meter. So as it is shown in the figure. So considering 2 points P1 and P2, which are located at a distances D1 and D2 from the center of the wire. So center of the wire is nothing but here the charged conductor which is being there. So over the surface of the charged conductor, that is nothing but the positive charge which is being present on the wire. So which will repel when a, yes. So if rippling action is to be taken place, or if it is said to be repelling each other, so what you can generally see here is you will be having a positive charge on the wire which will repel when a positive charge is being placed on a field. So if you want to move that charge which is repelling in nature, so from P2 to P1, just imagine from P2 to P1, then work must be done on the positive charge. So here P1 is at a higher potential than P2. If charge is to be made to move from P1 to P2, it expends the energy which is nothing but the voltage drop from P1 to P2. So you can have two different concepts here, that is voltage drop in a line, that is nothing but the line drop, and the voltage rise. So what happens in voltage drop? So you are moving from P1 to P2, and in voltage rise it is P2 to P1. So the path followed does not affect the potential difference on the whole. So it is being said to be followed, that is nothing but the voltage drop which is P1 to P2. So next, what is being present there? In order to find the voltage drop between P1 to P2, the voltage needs to be obtained between the equipotential surface passing through P1 and P2. So the voltage drop between P1 and P2 is given as V122, that is the 0.1 and 0.2. And what is the distances which I need to indicate? It is D1 and D2 EDX. So why it is EDX? I want to find out the potential difference now. So integrating the electric field intensity, okay, electric field intensity. So over the two limits, that is D1 and D2, because P1 and P2 are located at D1 and D2 distances, That's the reason why we are going to integrate it with respect to D1 and D2. So Q divided by the same thing what we followed. So up to this point, what is being followed in the previous derivation, we can look into it. So next, if I want to find out V12, I can find out in such a way that the integral Q divided by 2 pi epsilon. So epsilon R will be equal to 1 ln of D2 divided by D1. So in volts. The voltage drop between 2 points may be either positive or negative. I just told you, if there is a voltage rise, it will be from P2 to P1, and if there a voltage drop, it is from P1 to P2. So depending on the charge causing the potential difference to be positive or negative, so it also depends on one more factor where the voltage drop is computed from a point near the conductor to a point far away, or the vice versa concept there. So this is one thing. So you are having two different concepts here. That is the voltage drop between the 2 points, which may be either positive or negative. And next one, it also depends on the voltage drop, which is computed from a point near the conductor to a point far away, or vice versa. So that is what it is being present there. So now let me remodel it, what we did in inductance term and all. So let me remodel and rewrite it in such a way that you will be having the system of conductors. When I say system of conductors, I'll be having a single conductor from where it is taken as a reference point, and I have many such conductors which are being placed on a plane. Say I have some 3 conductors, 4 conductors, or even might be the conductors which are being used in case of the services. So I can select such conductors which is being formed. Each conductor will have a radius r. All the conductors will have radius r. So if I want to consider it, so I'll be saying it as a system of conductors, say m conductors which are being present. So each having a radius r, forming this circuit which is shown here. So radius r, which is being present in all the conductors. So this is conductor A, B, C, D, and E, F, G. Yeah, you can go with number of conductors. Let me say the number of conductors to be M there. So DAB and DBA. So A to B, if I'm moving like this, it is DAB. And if I'm moving like this, it would be DBA. It is dependent on the distance. So distance here is said to be a scalar quantity because it is not having any such direction. So only the subscripts which are being varying here. So if I want to measure this distance, it is DBC if I'm moving from B to C. If I'm moving from C to B, it is the other way there. So now again DAC, you can write it here. DAD is here, and DAM and DMA. So DAM and DMA is being present there. So next, moving on, I'll be having a QA, QB, and QC be the charge in coulombs per meter on the conductors. The spacing of conductors which is there, so it is the conductors B, C, D, and the conductor M, so which is being donated from A. So these are the distances which are being present there from the main conductor A to B, C, D, and M. So each and every conductor is denoting a small distance there. Okay, so each and every conductor is being denoting a small distance, which is DAB, DAC, DAD, and DAM to the final conductor, which is DAM. So these are being there with respective distances. So these spacings are assumed to be large as compared to their radii. So the distribution of charge is said to be uniform around the periphery of each conductor. So again, what we did, the distance is taken to be large when you compare it with the radius of the conductor. So distance is said to be some 10 meter, and this is somewhere around 10 centimeter. So distance is quite relatively large when it comes to the radius of the conductor. So in order to find out the potential difference between any two conductors, the principle of superposition can be used here. According to this principle, the difference of potential difference between two charged conductors is equal to the potential difference due to the charge on first conductor alone plus the potential difference due to the charge on the second conductor alone. So that is nothing but the principle of superposition. So if you want to find out the potential difference of two conductors, so say two conductors are being present there, VA and VB. Let me take these two conductors as VA and VB. Potentials are being there. So difference of potential difference between two conductors, VA minus VB, that is equal to potential difference of one conductor plus potential difference of the other conductor. So that is the other way you can have the negative potential difference also, and plus the potential difference due to alone and also due to the charged conductors there. So now let me take an example alone plus the potential difference on the third conductor. So we are saying it on a system of conductors due to the third conductor, again due to the other charged conductors in the field. So what you can generally come across is, so VAB is the potential difference between the conductors A and B. Yes, A and B are the potential difference between the conductors A and B. So VAB will be equal to potential difference between A and B due to charge QA. So here due to charge QA, QB, QC and QM. That's the final charge. So QA divided by 2 pi epsilon ln of, yeah, I just told you it is DAB divided by RA. DAB divided by RA. So why it is DAB divided by RA? So once you need to go for the radius and the distance which is being present there. So next one, that is due to charge QB, potential difference of the conductors A and B due to the charge QB on B. So due to the charge QB on A, the earlier one was QA on A. So what you need to do? You need to do in such a way that integral the distance what is being there, that is dBA the other way, and the RB. So it is to be integrated like this, and later on you need to integrate it subsequently. So this is what you need to follow. So QC divided by 2 pi epsilon ln of DCB divided by DCA plus at the end QM divided by 2 pi epsilon naught DMB divided by DMA. So this is being kept, whatever the subscript that you are seeing, DCB divided by DCA. So QC, it is being present here, and this is being present on QC on C. Okay, so QC on C. So both the conductors which is being present, it is B and A there. That's how you can come to a conclusion. So that is due to the charge DCB divided by DCA there. So later on, if I want to analyze this, so what I need to have, I need to find out the radius. So as you told that the radius is kept to be constant. So Rm, it is said to be R. So QA divided by 2 pi epsilon ln of DAB divided by R plus QB divided by 2 pi epsilon ln of R by dBA plus QC divided by 2 pi epsilon ln DCB divided by DCA plus QM divided by 2 pi epsilon ln of DMB by DMA. So this is being kept as an equation which you need to follow, where the radius are being replaced with R. So what is being there as a common factor between all these terms is 1 divided by 2 pi epsilon. So again, QA times ln of DAB divided by R plus QB times ln of R divided by dBA plus QC divided by QC times ln of DCB by DCA plus ln of DMB by DMA volts. So what is the next thing that you need to follow? So some similar expressions which are being quite there. So VAC. So we found out VAB and VAC is to be found out, and similarly VAM. If you look at the expressions on the whole, I can write it like that: 1 divided by 2 pi epsilon QA ln of DAC. If you observe, DAB is here, AB. So this is AC. This is AC divided by R. Next, what do I have? Next QB. Okay. So QB ln of dBc by dBA, okay, QC ln of R divided by DCA plus ln of DMC divided by DMA volts. So that is what it is being present there. So there is one more term which is missing, so which is QM. So here also it is being left out as QM there. So that is with the associate of charge, you are having a logarithm in term. So VAM on the whole, you can write it like this. So the first expression and the last expression, again you are missing the QM here. So you are having the first expression and the last expression which is there, you are missing with QM. Just make a note of it. So under normal working condition, the sum of the charges is said to be 0. So it will be utilized in the further section to find out the capacitance per unit length of a conductor. So you might get a question in your main exams. So give the derivation or give an expression for the potential difference between two conductors A and B in a system of M conductors. So this is what you follow. See to it that you repeat the derivations and understand what is the distances which are being present and try to understand it properly.